Do you have a giant list of priorities and struggle to figure out the most important things you should do today? Well, I'm in the same boat with you. And over the years, I've been able to really hone in a process that's helped me grow businesses into the 8 figures called my 3-4-5. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through my process on the 3-4-5 of how to make sure that you're doing the most effective, most impactful work today and not letting distraction creep in front of you today. Guys, over the years, I've tried every productivity tool. Now, I've got notebooks over here. I've got the 5-minute journal. I've got the this planner. I've got the that planner. I tried a software 10, 12 years ago called Simpleology. I have Apple Notes. I have spreadsheets. I have Asana. I've tried Basecamp. I've tried having people literally just tell me what I'm supposed to do. I've tried running it just off of a calendar. I've tried checklists online. I've tried all kinds of books. I've tried everything that I could figure out under the sun, and none of them really worked for me. Now, like I mentioned before, if you've ever taken the Colby test, it's a kind of a personality test and how you work. It tells you on 4 different things, kind of how you work, how you naturally tend to work. The first one is fact finder. Do you like to research a bunch before you make a decision? I'm a 6 out of 10 there, meaning I kind of like to absorb a little bit of the content for sure, and I'll be slow sometimes to make decisions and crazy fast in others. The next one then would be quick start. And quick start is how likely are you to actually get things done when you start them, right? Do you like checklists? Do you like to do one thing at a time and finish it? Or do you like to have a bunch of different things happening? I'm a two on the follow through. The next one then is quick start. Quick start is, are you visionary? Are you comfortable with change, having multiple things happen at once? Do you have 4 open half-read books on your nightstand? Okay, if that's you, then you're probably a high quick start, low follow through. Like myself, I'm an 8 quick start. So when we have all these ideas coming in, when we're collecting these ideas as an entrepreneur, sometimes we have a hard time wrangling them. And we communicate them to our team, and our team then takes those ideas, and sometimes they have a difficult time knowing, is this something Trevor said to go do, or was this just another random idea he came up with today? And so the tool I'm going to walk you through has really helped me to distill down the important few things. Okay, I will still have a place to capture ideas. So here on my cell phone, I still have Apple Notes where I capture ideas. I have a spot in here where I can capture ideas, whether it's a content idea or a product idea or just an open loop. We also use agendas in our businesses using just EOS L10s or level 10 meetings, where there's an IDS section. Okay, identify, discuss, and solve. Just go Google, check out what the EOS level 10 meetings are. That's another spot for me to capture ideas. Okay, so once I capture those ideas and I know that we have a plan, we've got a plan for the year, we have a plan for the quarter. Hey, for the quarter, here's our goals, and here's the most important priorities we push through. From there, what I was doing before is I would get lost. Okay, I would pick up my notepad every single day, and I would just write down whatever came out of my brain that day, any open loops. Hey, I need to make this phone call. I need to do this. I need to do this. And then at the end of each day, I would take that giant list of things I didn't have a chance to get to, because my list every day would be 10, 12, 15 things long. I would take that list, I'd flip a page, and I would say, okay, bring over everything from that list into this day. And that's what started my day. And then I would fill in other things. And you will get some stuff done, but you're continually on this guilt train too, because if you have a list of 10 or 12 things every day, you're not going to get most of them done. And so then inherently you start to feel like you're unproductive. You feel like you're not getting anything done. You start to have this weird guilt creep up when maybe you actually crushed the day. Or maybe what if you only gave yourself a few things to get done today and you got all 3 done, and then you had a couple bonus items after that if you got those other things done. Then you feel great about the day, right? Literally just the way that we structure how we peg priority and tasks can help us feel great about our work and our business, or it can help us dive into just second guessing and questioning and really being concerned about whether we're getting the right things done or not. Okay, so let's dive into the 3-4-5 concept. And I've got a training and a spreadsheet that I actually use called my priority tracker that you can download. You can use this spreadsheet. There should be a link below in the show notes on YouTube and on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or you can just go to trevormauch.com. That's TrevorMauch.com /4 freedom. And scroll to the bottom of that page. You're going to find a bunch of resources, the priority tracker, my energy audit, all kinds of cool things. Just go to trevormock.com or Google me, Trevor Mock. You'll find my website and then click the resources or freedom tab. All right. So what is the 3? Every single month, you get 3 top priorities, and that's it. Okay. You get 3 top priorities, not 7, not 12, not 10. You get 3. Now, where did I get this process? I remember I was on a podcast with a guy named Jay Papasan. He is kind of the right-hand guy with Gary Keller, with Keller Williams, a multi-billion-dollar corporation in the real estate space. And after the podcast finished, I asked Jay, I said, Jay, you work really closely with Gary. Gary seems to be a really, really high-performing guy. He seems like he enjoys his work. How does he handle priority? How does he know with thousands of employees like what he should be doing? And how do you align down to the team? And I said, Jay, you work side by side with Gary. What does he do with you? And he said, well, we have this process called the 411. And the 411 essentially is every month we fill out our top 5 priorities. And he said, Gary asks for that for everybody. Hey, everybody, I want you to give me your top 5 priorities for the month. And then they would whittle them down to the top 5 for each week. Okay. And I'm like, cool. I like that. So I started that myself and I whittled mine down to 3 top priorities because you can always add more when you accomplish those 3. But I would much rather crush the 3 most important things that I can get done and then add on more if I have bandwidth, then plan too many things, get all the things done but the most important thing, and then really not drive the lever forward in our business. Okay. So the first thing is the 3. You get 3 monthly priorities and that's it. If you finish those, then you can add another one and you should write them down in the order of priority. So I'm going to bring up my priority tracker right here. And the priority tracker, I'll give an example. At the very top of it, you're going to write down your top 3 priorities. And then I always have a buyback activity. Okay. What is a buyback activity? Well, a buyback activity is something that you're intentionally doing to get your time back. You're going to make a process. You're going to delegate something. Now, your buyback activity could be one of those top 3. But the reason I put this on my priority tracker is to force me to focus every single month on at least one key thing that I can create a process for, that I can delegate, that I can buy back my time on. So I can continually trade up to higher energy, higher contribution things. Okay. So your top 3 biggest priorities for the month. Write down any supporting links or notes right there when you're planning it, so you don't have to go find them when you're going to go do the work. And then in my priority tracker, I have a little thing that says effort. Is it a low effort thing, a 1 to 2 hour thing? Is it a medium effort, a 2 to 8 hours, or is it high effort, 20 plus hours? Okay. Write that down so you can know how much time you're going to need to allocate for it that month. And then I always have a status bar. Okay. The status bar throughout the month, I'm going to be looking at that on a weekly basis with my executive assistant, but you can do this solo as well. What is the status? Is it in progress? Is it completed, or is it blocked? Okay. So that's your top 3. You're going to have your top 3 priorities for the month with at least one buyback activity to buy back your time and delegate something off and create a training for, supporting links and notes, when you want those things to be done, what effort, and then the status. Okay. That literally should take you less than 3 to 5 minutes max to fill that out for each month. Okay. Then what we do is, as I go into each week, this is where the 4 comes in. Okay. As I look at my Fridays and look at my Mondays, I say, cool, looking at my monthly commitments, my monthly biggest 3 priorities, what are the 3 to 4 most important things I need to get done this week to drive those forward, and any other things that might be priority below those. Okay. So I'm going to sit there and go, cool, here we go. I've started, but have not finished priority 1 and priority 2. And those are the most important. So in week 1, I'm going to put in there, probably my first task is going to be hiring that executive assistant. So I need to post the job posting in week 1, and maybe week 2, it's going to be reviewing applicants. So I might even fill those out right now. So week 1, bam, I'm going to post that job description as my top priority. Okay, post job description online. And then we're going to move to the next priority. Okay, what is the next thing? So you get 4 things each week, and 4 only. And only when you get those 4 things done can you add on a 5th, 6th, 7th. And I want you to put those in order. Get your first one done first, second one done second, third one done third, fourth one done fourth. What happens is sometimes we will tackle the lowest priority, easiest thing to tackle, but instead we want to tackle the highest priority thing, because you don't want to get to the end of the week getting your bottom 2 priorities done and leaving your top 2 left undone. Okay. For me, I would much rather get my one biggest thing done this week and not have time for the other three than get all three of the other things done and not have time for the one. Okay. Now, where does the 5 come in? The 5 comes in for the daily now. And this is where diving back into the priority tracker, every single day you pull this back up. And I actually use this on my iPhone. I use it on the computer, my executive assistant. It's their job to run this process with me. And we red, yellow, green these every single time we meet a few times a week. Okay. We audit that and figure out how do we do this week and what do we need to do to get better next week. But now you get 5 tasks for the day. Okay. You don't get a list of 10. You don't get an entire note sheet of 10 things. You literally put your 5 things down. And I'll usually do that the night before or the morning of. Okay. I'll look at my calendar, which my calendar is already planned based on those weekly priorities. As soon as you lock in your weekly priorities, the very next thing is you go to your calendar and you say, is my calendar supporting these priorities? Because what will happen is we'll lock in our priorities and then our calendar is our calendar. Whatever happens on the calendar happens in the calendar, right? Instead of us using the calendar to actually support our priorities. Okay. So as soon as you lock those priorities in on that Friday or that Monday for the week ahead, you pull up the calendar. And now let's intentionally design the calendar to get those done. When do you want to get those done? What do you need? Link up those resources on those calendars and put everything you need to get those resources done, or delegate those off and bring other team members to help you in those. Okay. Like I said, the 5 tasks that you need to get done today, you're going to treat these the same way. How much effort do you need them to take? Is it low? Is it medium? Is it high? What are the supporting links? So when you're ready to dive into that thing, you're going to go do it. But then I would make sure that my day on my calendar actually supports those priorities. If it doesn't, either adjust your priorities to what the calendar is, if your calendar actually is your priorities, or adjust your calendar to reflect your priorities. And then ensure that calendar has actual blocks of time where you're getting those priorities done with the links to the work so you can stay focused and get it done. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll do a quick recap, but you can get this entire priority tracker worksheet. And all you have to do is duplicate that tab each and every month. You go over here and click duplicate, and then you title it to that month, that year, and then you spend 15 minutes per month planning it out. You say that first day of the month or the last day of the previous month, I'm going to look at the month ahead and say, how are we doing on our quarterly plan? What do I need to get done this month that's most important? You pick your top 3 priorities for the month. Okay, number 2 is as you head into each week, maybe it's a Friday, maybe it's a Monday, whatever works for you, is you look at those priorities for the month, you red, yellow, green them, you say, how am I doing? Okay, what do I need to get this done this week to move towards those priorities? You lock in your weekly 4. Okay. Then you make sure those are on the calendar every day, either at the end of the day before you go to bed or at the beginning of the day. You're going to review the weekly priorities and you're going to say, cool, what do I need to get done tomorrow in order to get those weeklies done? You look at your calendar, make sure your calendar reflects that, you get it done. That removes all the guilt, guys. That removes the guilt. You can nail your priorities, move the business forward, and still go golfing, and still go mountain bike riding, and still go have breakfast with your spouse, and still do all of the things in life that your business is actually supposed to fuel. Because when we have a list of 20 things, we will always try to get the 20 things done and feel guilty when we didn't, which then squeezes out the very things in life that we built the darn business to support and fuel. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of the week. I want to see you execute this. Pop a comment in the comments box. Number 1, if this resonates. Number 2, get that worksheet. You can find it at trevormock.com/freedom. Scroll all the way to the bottom of that page and find it, or carrot.com/priority. Either way, it's going to be over there for you. Get that worksheet. Let me know how it's going for you, where you're having the biggest challenge with priority, and subscribe. If you're enjoying these Entrepreneur Freedom Formula podcasts or the YouTube channel, go head over to YouTube, find the video version of this, y'all, if you're listening to the podcast. And if you're on the YouTube version, go over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, look for the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula, and subscribe over there so you can get these on the go. But guys, I'm going to leave with this like I do every week. I would love if you could go subscribe to these episodes, share it up with one other entrepreneur who can get benefit and value from these. And then last, rate and review the podcast and hit me with a thumbs up and a comment here on YouTube. All right, guys, grateful for you. Nailed those priorities this week. All right, we'll talk soon.